All right, let's go to page 59, which is exercise 6. Exercise 6 on page 59, and it says to open up another file, which I think's already got the pivot table in there, just to save some time. So employee sales auto update pivot table. Double click that. Okay. Right, good. So you can see it's the same data, but I've already got the pivot table there just to do it for me, or just to save some time. Okay, go back to report, and there it is. Actually, I've got lots of pivot tables, okay, on that. All right, so obviously we did that before, how we created this type of situation. We just created more and more pivot tables on that same sheet. So we went insert pivot table, existing sheet, and just come here, yeah, click that and click that, put the charts there. There's our nice little dashboard. Okay, good. So what are we talking about here? Okay, we're talking about if we change any of the existing data, or if we add new records at the bottom, okay, where I've already got it set up. See, you can see the blue arrow. That's the hint to tell you that it's been already applied, format as table. So if I want to change new records, or sorry, change old data that's already there, or add new records, then I've got to go back into here, right? And by the way, I'll do that. So if I just change, just watch here for a sec. So Jones, $6,000. And what's again the, yeah, it's not, okay, good. I'll put in there, I'll change it to 10 million. 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, enter. $10 million, okay. As we saw before, you've got to go back to here and you've got to go right click, refresh. But I've got 3 or 4 or more pivot tables. I've got to go right click, refresh, all of them. Don't want that. So this one here, I've got to go right click and refresh. Okay, and I've got to come down here, right click and refresh. Then I've got to go, well, I did that one automatically, probably because they're linked, okay? But even if I had one pivot table, I've got to go right click, refresh on that one pivot table. And I've got to teach my team that, don't forget, right click, or I've got multiple pivot tables there, it takes a bit of time. Okay, good. So I'm going to go undo that. Undo, I'm going to go undo, okay, and put that back to what it was. Okay, good. So what we can do instead is Excel is a great way to automatically do that for you. But what we have to do is apply or use what they call code. Code, I'll type it up here. This word, that's code for, that word code is code for code. Very good, write that down. So code equals like scripting, computer programming, blah, 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 okay? So code, all right? And you can make so-called code get activated or run when you just click the sheet itself. If I click the sheet tab, we can have that code automatically running for us, okay? Most people know that you can also put a button on here. I've got to go click, or I could go click here. Where's that button? Oh, the button's down here. You got to put a button there that says update or refresh, go click. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want people to have to look for the button because they might accidentally delete it and so on, okay? So all we need to do is to make the code or whatever it is, this so-called code, and by the way, that code will update or refresh all pivot tables automatically. As soon as I go click, bang, it will go and update all the pivot tables. Okay, how do we do that? All we do is go to the sheet here and you go right click that sheet, and there it is there, view code. It was always there. This is where you insert sheets and delete sheets, but there's view code for that report tab. Now, when I click view code, it comes up and it should be nice and blank. There it is, blank. Ready for me to put the code in. Okay, well, what's the code? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to Google it. Okay, good. So I'm going to come out of that. So it's opened up another window, ready for me to put the code in. I'm going to close that down and so on. Okay. Now, the code, I've already got it there for you. If you go back, if you're following me and you've got the zippy file of the training files, if I go back to my desktop and there, okay, and there it is there. So I've just double clicked my folder where the training files are, and there it is there, update pivot table code simple. Okay, so I'm going to go double click that. And by the way, it's just a text document. It's just a text file. So code is just really straight text you can type up, but obviously Excel interprets it and runs it. So if you're doing this, just double click this simple one, update pivot table code, simple, double click. Okay, and there it is there. And look, I even thought that's too much. All of that is too much to type in manually. Okay, but you can see the main thing there. There's the main code there. Active workbook, whenever I click the sheet, active workbook, refresh all, which means refresh all the pivot tables automatically. But you've got these other things to say update in the sub, whatever it might be. So private sub means private subroutine, which means a program, and end the subroutine. Okay, good. How do we put that in there, Mark? Well, you just now go Control A. So if you follow me through, to go Control A, then go Control C, or right click copy, Control C to copy it back down to here. We go back to our Excel file, okay, which is that one there. Okay, good. And again, we go right click, view the code, and it's all blank, Control V, paste it in. Saves me having to type it all in. You can Google a lot of this, although you have got that text file. Okay, by the way, this is generic. So that code there, and the next one, next example we're going to use is generic for any text file. It doesn't just work for this particular file called employee sales, whatever it was. All right. So if you've done that, just go X out. So X out, it automatically saves it, and away we go. It's all done. So just by clicking that sheet, it's going to activate that code automatically. Okay, so let's try that. Let's go back to raw data. Okay, good. And again, we'll just change one of these. We don't have to. Again, I'm not going to, but you can add more data at the end, can't you? Extra data, extra new data, because we've already applied format as table in this exercise, in this example. All right, so if I go 10 million again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's 1 million, so 10. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just to make sure it works. Okay, and when you're ready, you just go click on that report, left click, bang, updated straight away. Oh, where's that been all my life? Type of thing. But don't forget, it's even useful just for one pivot table if you have that on your spreadsheet or in your spreadsheet. Okay, good. Now it won't activate when you click it again. So if I click, I'm already on the sheet, report sheet in this case. If I go click, well, I haven't changed it, have we? But if we go click on the sheet that we're already on, it's not activating the code again. You've got to go back to another sheet and then go back to report, bang, and it's run it again, although we didn't change the figures. Okay, is it all good? Everyone likes that? Now, how can we make that much more betterer? Even more betterer. Okay, because some of you might say, well, gee, that's good, but it happens straight away. Can you, can we have the choice to say, when I click, Mark, have you got code? If you click the report sheet in this example, it pops up with a code or a box saying, would you like to update your report? Yes, no, and there's a yes, no button. Well, no, I don't for this time, but yes, I will next time. Okay, good. So let's try this again. Just put it back to what it was. So raw data, I'm going to go back to, I don't know what it was. Just change it to 5,000, whatever. Okay, and go back to report, bang, and it's happening straight away. See, done. But we'd like to have the choice of what to do. Okay, good. So that's the other example I've got there. If you go back to your folder list, there's update pivot table code message prompts. Okay, so it still has inside this example, it still has the refresh all code, but wrapped around it, if you like, excuse me, are some prompts to say yes, no, and some fancy stuff. Again, you can use this for yours. It's not pertinent or is not just specific to that file called annual, whatever it is. So if you double click that, it opens up Notepad. I'm going to maximize that, okay, and just zoom back a bit. So don't worry about all the stuff, but again, this is generic. By the way, there's the code we need. So active workbook dot refresh all. So that's the main code, but again, wrapped around it are these extra codes called message box, MSG box, okay? And the only change we're going to make here is the message here. So it says first message goes here. So I'm just going to, for something to do, you're going to change that message that first appears. First message goes here. So just click in there. Make sure you do it within the quotes. So all, what do you want to call it? All pivot reports will be updated. Okay, delete, delete, delete. Okay, and then on a new line, automatically it's going to say, do you want to proceed? And then this thing, VB question, yes, no, blah, blah. That's the command to put the yes, no buttons in there. All right, and you can change some of the other messages, but wherever it says message box, MSG box, you can manually change, as long as you stay within the quotes, you can change the sort of message you want them to see. We've already got some stuff there for the actual code to work. Okay, again, people, you're no charge, unlimited copyright. You can take this with you and put this in your own spreadsheets. Okay, so what do? We go Control A. We're going to override the other previous code in our example. So Control A, Control C, I just did. Right click, copy, go back to here. We're going to go right click on the report, view code. Should have the old one there. You're going to get rid of the old one. Control A, delete to be safer, and then Control V. It all goes back in. Different colors for different things. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, good. Again, if I hit the X, this is just the VBA code window that's popped up. If you hit X, it automatically does it for you, automatically saves it for you within this file. Okay, good. So when I click on report, I'm already in the report tab. I go click. No, it doesn't work. Okay, click again. It's not working, Mark. I don't see the report, or sorry, the prompts. Now, you got to go back to raw data. So click back on raw data and then click on report again. Bang, straight away, there it is. All pivot table or pivot report. Do you want to proceed? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, not updated. To see the prompts, click the other sheet, then click back on this sheet. Oh, okay. There you go. All right, and still stays the same, those reports. So let's go back. Let's change the data. We'll do someone else. Let's go Jones. Where's Jones? I did Jones before, didn't I? Let's change Whelan. Okay, so if you're following me through, let's go back to raw data. And again, we're going to change that to 10 million. Okay, good. We could have had some more data again, don't forget. We could have had some new data because it's formatted as table already. Okay, so let's go report, click on report. Bang, there we go. Do you want to proceed? Oh, no, I don't. I don't want to proceed at this point. I still forgot to print out the existing pivot table. Click no. Okay, not updated. All right, click OK. Hasn't changed. It's still the old report based on the old data. Okay, to see the prompts again, you got to go back to raw data, as the message said. Go back to report. Bang, would you like to proceed? Yes, I do. All done. All pivot table reports, although a bit of a glitch, it's not your fault. See how this hasn't changed yet until I go, okay, done. The graph didn't change. All right, go home. All right, makes it user-friendly. You can create your little template, get it out to your team or whatever it might be, or even better, get your team to come along to this session on pivot tables. We do this a lot. We run the session just for people from your wherever you are, city council, your DPI, your health department, whatever it might be. And they're all on the same page, better cut rate, not a cut snake, but a better cut rate for the group. I've had sort of 40, 50 people from the one organization doing this. They'll go, oh, this is gonna save so much more time. Okay, good. Any questions? No. Okay, let's move on to the last exercise. Okay, hopefully you all haven't been just waiting. Hopefully up until now, you can still use a lot of this stuff. Okay, so that was exercise 6. Last exercise is on the multi-sheets, reporting from multi-sheets. So using the code first up, VBA code that updates all the pivot tables. You make the VBA code run when you click the sheet. Okay, and the Excel file again. Yeah, I didn't say that. So now I've got to go back to here. This is in your book. This is actually saved as a Excel macro file, Excel macro enabled file. So if it's not, you'll get prompted to say you must save this now as an Excel macro file, because that's basically what this code is. It's code, macro code, all right? And that's what I've got there, XLSM. If you don't, you'll get reminded and it'll say, oh, it'll destroy the code, it won't work. So just make a little mental note at least. So you'll be prompted, by the way, when you save it back, if it's not already an XLSM file. Anyway,